playing partner.
Quinn said he's tough. His jaw is wired shut, ladies and gentlemen, as he goes right to the basket and couldn't get that one down. Dormankamp on the putback was no good, but it is chased down by Kenny Walls. Ryan Sidney fractured his jaw in practice. Ryan Ross did not miss a game.
No, it hasn't missed a beat. I mean, he's got it wired. As a matter of fact, he had to have some back on it because they were bothering him a little bit. Really tough player.
Sidney tried to save that on the apparent. Do it. Coming off a rare home. They were the Iowa club.
Hawkeyes are pretty good. Steve Alford has done a good job with that team. So they're pretty good. And this is Iowa State team.
Tyree Pearson had it knocked away. And here comes Troy Bell. He gets over. He's capable of doing just that, pulling up. And this is something that amazingly has happened so many times in his career. He gets fouled on a three-point jump shot attempt. And before we get to that, let's take a look at our starting lineups and the number, Quinn, that we want the folks to look at. 205 career starts for the Boston College starting group compared to just 69 for Iowa State.
Yeah, obviously it makes a huge difference because you look at the experience being a factor, and Iowa State doesn't have much of it.
And the three players leading the way for Al Skinner, Troy Bell, Uka Agbai, and Kenny Walls.
Yeah, you know, another thing is Bell knocks down the shot for Iowa State that they have to deal with. They lost 4 starters. That makes a big difference, and 3 of their starters are playing professionally. Martin Ranzik is playing over there. Paul Shirley is playing. Both of those guys are playing in Europe. And starting out with a great, having a great start is Jamal Tinsley with the Indiana Pacers,
yes,
who was named Rookie of the Month. So that's a lot of firepower that Iowa State's missing.
Well, Quinn, you know it's tough to lose starters and experienced players, but when it's your point guard, Jamal Tinsley had so much to do with that team's success the last couple of years, even when Marcus Fizer was there.
Yeah, he was. He was able to get him the ball in position to score. You see, they're having trouble getting into something right here. Just getting it over half court.
Marcus Jefferson, who fouled out early in the second half of that loss against Iowa. Here is Sullivan. He and Bell have had many battles in AAU ball, as Quinn said. And this pass up the court is knocked away by Shane Power. And it will be Boston College basketball.
And you see Boston College trying to take advantage of that inexperience, keeping the pressure on Larry Eustace's club. Iowa State had been playing some zone and now and man-to-man, so we'll see how Boston College tries to take advantage of that. They run a flex offense. Boy, Bell got an easy one under there and just missed it.
He did. Just to finish that point I was going to make, Quinn, that was the 34th time in Bell's career as another turnover here because of the pressure put on by Ryan Sidney. That was the 34th time in Troy Bell's career that he's been fouled on a three-point shot attempt. So.
Yeah, there's no doubt. People foul him there. This ball, see, I agree with, now Sidney gets the call, but Power, Shane said it was out on against for Iowa State, and it should have come back to Iowa State.
Agbai hands it off. 3 turnovers already for Iowa State. And on the rebound, here comes Jefferson. 3 Eagles are back there defensively, bit out of control, and it was knocked out of bounds and last touched by Boston College. When I know that you're familiar that there's so many different styles and different ways of having success, and watching the 2 shoot-arounds, you couldn't have seen 2 more different styles than Larry Eustace and Al Skinner. What a workout Eustace put his kids through earlier today.
Yeah, it fits their personality. I mean, Larry Eustace is a guy that's really, you know, if you will, strong tight, and Al Skinner is just the opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, he's into, you know, shooting games to shoot around. He doesn't put his guys through a lot because he wants fresh legs. But you got a young team, you need to put them through the paces and shoot around.
Pearson's their go-to guy offensively, and he goes right to the glass and lays it in. Tyree Pearson averaging 18 a game. But he's had 4 straight coming into this one where he has scored at least 20 points. There's Bell. Pulls up, and he's fouled again and makes it.
By Sullivan.
Jake Sullivan twice. And now, keep in mind, folks, this is a guy that's familiar with Troy Bell because he played against him in summer leagues and AAU ball. And if anybody knows his game, it would be Jake Sullivan.
Well, I'm not so sure. He's just too anxious to get at the shot. I mean, he's trying to challenge it, but from there, you cannot foul a jump shooter. And this is a deep jump shot. You see Sullivan come after it, no doubt about the foul.
And Troy Bell's not a guy that you want to foul. He now has made 47 out of 52 free throws, including 4 of 4 tonight. Now it is wisely kicked out by Jared Holman. And Shane Power had it knocked away. It comes down to Sidney. Oh, through the leg past the Bell, and that is rejected by Holman.
Sidney's working on his horse game.
Ooh. Going to test Al Skinner's mild demeanor when you start doing that early in ball games.
No doubt.
Bell kicks it ahead. Here is Walls, pulls up and hits it. And that is a long 2. As the official closest was able to see the toe on the line.
And I'm looking at Larry Eustachy with his club, and he's just kind of got this look at, like, guys, what are we doing here? Because they've turned the ball over. Some of it has been the pressure of BC. But it's a team that's really, if you watch Iowa State basketball, they're passing off the back foot. Quick hand there by Troy Bell that gets it. And then come again. Troy Bell actually was standing out of bounds and got that one given back to Iowa State. But all the passes Iowa State are making, they're making off their back foot as opposed to stepping through with some real authority to try to get the ball in the direction it needs to go.
And just to keep going on that Troy Bell fact, because I find it amazing because the coaches will emphasize don't foul a jump shooter, especially a three-point shooter. That is the 5th time that Troy Bell has completed a 4-point play by hitting a three-pointer and then knocking down the ensuing free throw. So Larry Eustachy's club that statistically anyway, Quinn, has struggled in second half play, find themselves in a tough position here early.
Well, they've really got their hands full here because this team you're looking at is Boston College is just doing an outstanding job getting out defensively, and that's the reason you see the rough start for the Cyclones. They got 5 turnovers and made 1 of 2 baskets, but turnovers that are going to kill them.
Al Skinner, the coach of the year in many different polls off of his tremendous run last year. The Eagles finished last season 27-5, 13-3 in the regular season in the Big East, and then of course won the Big East tournament. And they were picked to finish, I think, dead last by a lot of the so-called experts last year. Into the lane again, and that's the guy that's going to have to get something going for them, Tyree Pearson, who has their only bucket. He'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, he did a good job getting in the center, and I'm sure that's what the conversation was about at the timeout with Larry Eustachy. Get the ball in the center of the court when you're playing against zone defense, and then attack it and see what you can get out of that.
Pearson unable to hit the first free throw, a 77% shooter so far in this is senior season. This is a young squad, but Pearson is the experience, the glue on this team, if you will, that has to lead the way in difficult situations, but he misses both free throws. Now Dornencamp, the big 7-footer. Walls looking inside for Agbaye. Agbaye, who plays even bigger than his height.
Iowa State actually, other than the fact that they did not get the rebound, and played that as a pretty good defensive possession. Let's see, can they keep that up? Because they've got to play well defensively because they struggle so much trying to score.
Agbaye spins, difficult shot off the side iron. Shane Power battling with Dornencamp, who won that battle. Dornencamp gets another one, and he is fouled, and now looks like Agbaye was getting a little bit upset there.
Probably Agbaye's a little upset because he just couldn't get a basket to go down.
Well, getting a basket to go down has never been a problem for number 2, Troy Bell, and he specializes in doing it from the outside, and opposing teams are anxious to get out there. Sullivan drew the foul and turned out to be a 4-point play. Eagles in front.
It's a toy.
You don't like it.
No, it's great.
You know, you're always going on and on about
I
how
know.
As they say, it's the thought that counts.
Hey, Look, I really like it. It's the nicest.
Unwrap a Jaguar S-Type, now for just $4.99 per month.
All power toothbrushes are not created equal. Sonicare's patented sonic technology and dynamic cleaning action get your teeth whiter and healthier in 28 days, guaranteed. Ask your dentist about Sonicare.
Ocean's 11 is turning the heads of critics all over America. Rolling Stone says Ocean's 11 is the coolest thing around. People magazine says jackpot, pure fun from start to finish.
You're either in or you're out. Right now.
Ocean's 11, rated PG-13, now playing.
Come to Questia.com. The world's largest online library allows you to access entire books for all your research. With new version 2.0, it's faster and easier to use. So subscribe today and write better papers faster. AOL keyword Questia.
Number 11, Boston College, 7-0 on the season, up by 7, and Troy Bell has been the story so far. And of course, he was the story with a career-high 34 the other night against UMass.
He can do it in a variety of ways. I mean, he can get to the basket, not afraid to go strong. We've watched him make jump shots, so he can pull up, he can go inside and outside. He's got a tremendous arm. And another thing that you and I were talking about, as you take a look at his numbers, they've got 2 guys from Big Ten country starting at guard here at Boston College. Because Sidney is from Ann Arbor, Michigan, as Bell is from Minnesota.
Nate Dornenkamp gets the offensive foul as he went out.
Well, that's always been a problem for them, because that's the best lineup is when Dornenkamp is in the lineup. Because if you look now, they get really small. Because Dornenkamp is over 7 feet tall, and he's really active, but he gets in foul trouble, and they have to do without him. And he's a pretty skilled athlete.
So the senior Brian Ross, number 45, comes off the bench. And the pressure continues for Boston College.
Well, they got to break there. You don't want to pick the ball up at the half-court line, because the defense uses that as a trap. They're playing against man-to-man. Let's see, can Iowa State get a shot?
Shane Power, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Now Jefferson into the lane, hands it off, and good finish there by Pearson.
Good job by Pearson to get open.
Here's Bell, pulls up. Boy, there was some contact there on that shot as well. On the follow-through, but no call. Now here's Sullivan. Suffered a knee injury earlier in the season, and
that's going to take away from his ability to explode by people. And Troy Bell knows that as well. Oh, they got to call that on Sidney.
And they did. Ryan Sidney with the shove there on Shane Power. We're at the County Forum. This is home of the Boston College Eagles, number 11 in the country, taking on Iowa State. Dave Strader along with Quinn Buckner and the rest of our crew. The beginning of a college basketball doubleheader here on ESPN. We'll be moving just down the Mass Pike for the second game of our doubleheader.
Yeah, UMass actually gave Boston College a little something to worry about when they stormed back on Boston College.
BC led by 23 at the half. They were up by 25 early in the second half. And you're right, the Minutemen came back. Now Sullivan, he's got that kind of range, and he shows it.
Well, Troy Bell had been guarding him closely on the right side of the floor, but Bell just stepped behind the screen, so Sullivan just took a deep three from there.
Agbaye inside with the pump fake off the glass short, and the rebound Pearson. He's got Jefferson with him, but Pearson's going to go all the way for the emphatic slam dunk.
Well, good rolling pick, if you will, by Marcus Jefferson, because he was able to keep everybody from getting to Pearson as he got to the basket. And somehow Iowa State has tied this game up.
7-0 run, and remember they missed 2 free throws in there too. Inside now is Sidney, and unable to finish it. Well, things have calmed down for the Eagles, or I should say for Iowa State.
Pace has slowed down a little bit more for Iowa State. That's what's really helped them.
Double team again. Jefferson picking up that dribble early. Now Power on the wing. Gets it to the free throw line. Inside to Pearson. Little jump hook, and he got the roll.
It was a pretty, you know what, that's a play. When you come across from the either side, Pearson just gets right in the lane. That's a play, too. Troy Bell's still up for a three. Now, Pearson just really punches in the lane.
So 10 points for Troy Bell, and he's 2 for 3 from behind the arc. And the one he missed, he was fouled on, and he was fouled on one of the ones he made as well. Jefferson under pressure, got it inside. Into the offensive glass. There it is.
Yeah, they're really horsing it. Jefferson got up to get that one and put it back in.
Iowa State with the 1-point lead. Here is Sidney on the wing. Now the wall pulls up to the left-hander. It's off the side iron. Not a great shot there for Boston College.
No, they're taking it under pressure. And you know what I like about Sidney? He really is patient.
Sullivan.
Tough play.
Wow. He showed maybe that knee's not bothering him as much as perhaps the defender thought it was. He's definitely not 100%.
No, he's not 100%. I was over talking with him before the game. And he said it feels okay, but you know, it's still, I think, from an explosive standpoint, bothers him.
Sprained the MCL. That was the diagnosis in the game against Savannah State earlier, and didn't play in the next 3. Agbaye inside using that power move, and he will get the basket and the foul.
Agbaye gets the ball down on the block, and it's not bad defense. You see, there's contact made.
Yeah.
I mean, you technically can call that an offensive foul, because this is a dislodge. If you watch, the defender is there. If you move him, you dislodged him. That's an offensive foul. They did not call it. Holman gets the foul.
Agbaye unable to take the opportunity to tie the ball game. Iowa State with the lead. They were down 9-2.
Yeah, you see Bell is out on Sullivan a lot further out this time.
Pearson inside.
Oh, he called for it. He told Shane Powers, throw it to me, and shot it over Agbaye.
So Tyree Pearson with 10 points, as we have a player from each side in double digits already. Bell, of course, for Boston College. Just into the ball game, Jermaine Watson, number 4. Now Ross on a 16-footer, and he looks over at the official and said that should have been basket and a foul.
Better take the basket. Yeah, you could be happy with it.
Again, that double team. He hasn't dribbled it yet. He's able to split the defenders, but then throws it away.
Yeah, he got himself in trouble right here in the trap. You got to break through there strong and take a hard dribble, then make the play.
Well, talking about using the hard dribble, that's something that Jake Sullivan did against his old nemesis Troy Bell, and was able to finish there. Iowa State with a comeback.
It's a toy.
You don't like it.
No, it's great.
You know, you're always going on and on about
I
how
know.
much- As they say.
College transfer who wasn't polished offensively, they said last year when he came to the Iowa State program.
Yeah, but he's worked on his game, and he's really done a good job in terms of positioning, figuring out where he can be effective. Gets the ball down on the block with a lot of confidence in his ability to make plays. You take a look at his numbers in the last 7 games, averaging 20 points in 33 minutes to go along with 8 off the glass.
Now, one of the things about Larry Eustachy's club, a lot of it because of the inexperience. A few guys are playing a lot of minutes, Quinn.
Yeah, that's it, and that's part of the inexperience, and it's part of why they get worn out, and it happens to them where they play pretty good in the first half. The second half, they just don't have the strength to finish. Talking about strength, wow, that's the finish there by Sidney.
Exploding to the basket. Look at Iowa State with their start with the 5 turnovers, but have come back since. Gene Power a bit out of control, and the offensive foul as he ran into Brian Ross. Immediately following our game, as we mentioned, the New England Border War. It'll be the Connecticut Huskies as they visit Shannon Crooks. Coach Steve Lappas, the new man there with the Massachusetts Minutemen. College basketball on ESPN coming up next. Butler there for the Huskies, and here comes Pearson again. And then he decides to use the two-hand put down, a little different variety to the dunk that time.
Yeah, but what bothered me about that is Troy Bell started out with him and got just before where the pro three-point line was, and he just stopped. I mean, you got to chase him down and make him make a difficult shot.
Sidney pulls up for the three that's short. A little different than the mentality of the game we saw earlier, you and I, at Arkansas with Wake Forest. There were no free layups in that game.
No, they were taking no prisoners in that game. Shane deep. Oh, with Troy Bell in his face. I'm sorry, Jake Sullivan deep.
Sullivan went down for a moment. Watson tried to take advantage of that, but he could not control it.
I mean, Sullivan's a guy that always could shoot the ball, but if you don't close on him fast, he's got a quick release. You see Bell get there in time to see Sullivan knock down a three.
Big 12 freshman of the year last year, top returning scorer for the Cyclones.
The only returning starter.
That's pretty easy to get that designation, isn't it, Quinn? I tried to sneak that by just to see if you were paying attention.
I was going to let you know. I'm listening.
Nice feed inside as the youngster Ricky Morgan, the freshman out of Pontiac, number 11, is in the ball game, and really the only point guard that was recruited by Iowa State. As Troy Bell runs that play again, Quinn.
It's not a play. It's just Troy at the top, right?
Jeez.
Troy right, Troy left, Troy center. I mean, and he's shooting it deep, too.
And you and I were talking before the game. He's a jump shooter that really elevates on his jump shot. I mean, he gets up in the air.
Yeah, and jump shooters that do that normally are inconsistent shooters because they jump at different heights. But he manages to shoot it all at about the same height. Oh, that's a foul. No doubt. That's a good call. On Sidney, it's a bad play because Sullivan's got to take a leaner. He's not just taking an ordinary shot. Al Skinner didn't like it. I mean, Sullivan makes the move. You can see there's contact there. There's no doubt about it because you can see Sidney was trying to avoid it.
Another guy you don't want to foul. He made his first 27 free throws this year and has missed only 2 on the season.
I think that Sidney's going to have to come out as you take a look at those numbers.
Well, the big thing there, with 58 free throws all of last year and already 32, the big difference, of course, you don't have Jamal Tinsley to get him the ball. Jake Sullivan was the 2 guard. Now he's become more of a point guard probably than they even wanted him this year, again, because of the slow development of Ricky Morgan, who's the guy they hope to eventually take that spot.
Well, with Jamal Tinsley, Jake Sullivan could afford to just be a shooter. Here, he's got to do other things to score. Because Tinsley, after you Indiana Pacers game, Tinsley can find you. If you're open, he'll get you a shot. Oh, good pass.
There was Morgan doing what you want from a point guard. It was not finished, though, by Omar Bynum, who's in there. And Marcus Jefferson couldn't get the putback to go as well.
I think they give it to Bynum coming over the back.
No, Iowa State got off to the slow start, and it didn't look like it was going to get any better. But Larry Eustachy Club showing some character for a young team on the road against a ranked team, up by 5.
It's truck season, and Ford trucks are tougher than ever. That's why Ford F-150 is the #1 selling truck in the world for 24 straight years. It's got a double 5-star government crash test rating, the highest conventional towing capacity, the highest payload, the most torque, and now all F-Series pickups come with low 0% financing, including Ford Super Duty. So get the best. Get to truck season at your New England Ford dealer.
Step to the line. Stand up straight.
Add AOL Instant Messaging to your phone for just $2.99 a month, only from VoiceStream.
To the best of us. This time it happened to Rich.
Keep in touch.
He ended up getting sent down.
And now for sports.
Thank you, Courtney. All JV wrestlers must return their uniforms to Coach.
He was a real asset down there. His maturity, his experience.
Miss Joyson, could you buy some beer?
Okay, when I go like this,
That's your cue.
No. Please? No.
Come on.
No.
Do you even go to this school? Because you're not supposed to be on the show unless you go to this school.
But we're glad he worked his way back to the show, and I'm sure he is too.
So, let's see some James K. Polk spirit.
Beautiful evening here in December, just outside the city of Boston. The Conti Forum, home of the Boston College Eagles, and off to a great start. They won their first 12 last year. They're 7-0, and they are here against an inspired Iowa State Cyclone team, a young team.
You know, this Iowa State team has managed to shoot 73%. You know, and they made their only 2 3-pointers they've made. So it's the reason they're in the game, because the way that this experience favors Boston College, you wouldn't think Iowa State would be in the game.
Andrew Bryant, the 6'7" sophomore from Denison, Texas. Only the 8th 3-pointer he's attempted, but looked very comfortable. Now Sullivan, well, he waited for the double team and quickly realized he was in trouble and called the timeout. Immediately, Larry Eustachius over at in the face of Omar Bynum to tell him, I don't think you were where you're supposed to be.
Well, what he was telling him is, you got to come get open. See, because he's right there on the left. He's telling him, you got to come get open. And then all of a sudden, he ended up where there were 2 people on one side. But, you know, you've got to see where the opportunities are. Make yourself available for a guy.
Wednesday night, 8 Eastern here on ESPN. We've got regional NHL action. Some of you will see Michael Pekka, Alexei Yashin on the surprising New York Islanders, as they'll take on the 2-time defending Eastern Conference champion New Jersey Devils. And others will see another great rivalry. Keith Tkachuk and the St. Louis Blues will visit the surprising Chicago Blackhawks. Wednesday night hockey is presented by Nextel on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
You know, the one thing about playing against a team like Boston College, which is good for Iowa State, is you've got to be strong with the ball. And Iowa State is young, and they'll lose the ball now. But later in the season, they'll be better off having played against this kind of aggressive defense.
And they'll see that in that Big 12 conference. We saw some good guard play earlier this year with Oklahoma playing at Arkansas.
Well, they'll see some good guard play, because Oklahoma State will guard you. Indiana, I mean, not Indiana, it'll look like Indiana. Texas Tech will guard you, so they'll see some good, tough defensive teams.
Nice play by Morgan, and a second opportunity again.
And I'm looking at Al Skinner, and I feel the same way he is. I don't know how the young man got the layup, and second of all, how do you get a rebound after a fast break situation?
4-point Cyclone lead. Bell with 13 points leading the way.
Feeling it. I know he's thinking he's feeling it. He's made a 3-pointer.
Andrew Bryant couldn't knock that one down, and here comes Ricky Morgan leading the attack. But Pearson wants that ball inside against Agbai.
Yeah, but he's really got some help.
Or that's Bryant, rather, inside that was contesting Pearson.
And Agbai was on the backside. He was really helping him, and Agbai's man Bynum had come out, so there was no help all of a sudden, and so Pearson was able to get into the paint.
So Ryan Sidney, who sat down for a few minutes.
He's got 2 fouls.
Yes, he does.
If I'm Iowa State, I'm trying to figure out how do I get his third.
They try to go inside to find him. It rolls off his hands. And here comes Sidney. He's going to pull up for the leaner and hits it. With the jaw wired shut, he's wearing one of those breathe right bandages to try to help his breathing. And now we got another situation just over the half-court line, playing right into the hands of that Boston College trap.
It was a bad decision. You can see the breathe right, because he can't necessarily breathe through his mouth. He's got it open, but I'm sure it's just a little, trying to get a little extra oxygen in there.
Now, we mentioned he sustained the fractured jaw last week, and very next game against UMass, what's he do? He plays 36 minutes.
36 minutes. He's tough. I mean, he really is a tough customer.
Now Shane Power. This kid's a good spot-up shooter.
Well, they're doing a good job in the 2-3 zone, making sure that he can't get any free shots.
On the inside, number 51, Jared Holman, is fouled. freshman from Remsen, Iowa, first-team All-State out of St. Mary's High School.
Third personal foul, 16 fouls. 2 shots, man, 2. Number 51, Jared Ullman, shooting 2.
I mentioned the workout that Larry Eustachy put these kids through. Not only physically demanding, but you better be mentally tough, too.
Yeah, I think you have to be, and I think he's doing the correct thing with his club, because he knows that he doesn't have, you know, the same kind of talent base he's had over the last couple of years. He loses guys. I mean, in the last couple of years, he's lost 4 guys to basically the pros, including Marcus Fizer, and the 3 he lost last year. So it's hard to replace that. So when you get new players in, you've got to make sure they're mentally tough so you can get through difficult times. And they're going to struggle some in the season.
When that foul was on Ryan Sidney, he picked up his 3rd on the reach-in. His Agbai on the turnaround is no good. Howard had the rebound and actually lost it when the ball hit the glass. And Brian Ross takes advantage. And brings the Eagles to within 1.
They back off some of that pressure, the Eagles do. Not much inside because Pearson is off the floor. So let's see what Iowa State tries to do in terms of generating some offense. Jake Sullivan is off the floor, as is Pearson, their 2 leading scorers.
Now Jefferson, a couple of ball fakes, couldn't shake the defense.
Shot clock is already down at 5.
Well, this is a long way out. And it rims around the basket, and last touch by Omar Bynum of the Cyclones. It'll be Boston College basketball. Boston College 7-0. They are 5-0 in this building this year. They've won 23 straight, rather. There's Iowa State 5-4.
Oh, he beat him tough. Oh,
nice use of the left hand.
Oh, he got by Morgan so quickly the defense couldn't get to the baseline to help.
Well, the crowd here at Conti that was making some noise early and then hasn't had much reason to make noise in the last few minutes. Back into it. Turnovers back-to-back, and Bell reached in on Ricky Morgan.
Yeah, it's a tough call. That get some help from Jim Burris to help him out. Dockery's trying to figure out who it was. It was against Troy Bell, who reached down to get that foul.
Number 34, Tyree Pearson. Replaces Iowa State. Ricky Morgan at the line, shooting 1-1.
Oh, Morgan shooting 1-1. See the numbers so far on the 5'11" freshman from Pontiac, Michigan, where he played at Northern High School.
Well, they're going to really need him to step up, because Jake Sullivan is so much more of an effective player when he's at that 2 spot than when he's got to handle the ball.
Here comes Bell. He pulls up. And was he fouled again? Yes, he was.
I'm like you. I'm amazed. I'm sure he was told to challenge the shot. No one on the Iowa State coaching staff told him to foul.
His first personal 16 fouls. Troy Bell at the line, shooting 3.
Well, the second time tonight. Here it is, Quinn.
Well, they make that call. It was hard to see where the contact was, but the official was right there, so I'm sure there was some contact, but he gets 3 shots.
Troy Bell had arthroscopic surgery done on his knee back on October 31st, and didn't seem to affect his start.
No, not at all. And, you know, the thing that impresses me is in the UMass game, in the 34 points, he had 16 foul shots in that game.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was 15 for 16 there.
Place gets awfully quiet when when one of the Eagles is on the free throw line. Well, you've got to respect his outside shot for obvious reasons, but if you challenge him, this is what Troy Bell can do to you as well. Boston College back in front.
It was our first house, and shortly before my parents' grand inspection, there was a tiny problem. I told my State Farm agent I had to get it fixed fast.
When you choose State Farm's Premier Service Claims Program, there's no calling around for estimates. You just go straight to a participating contractor, and they'll guarantee their work.
So this is it?
It's just that simple.
Boy, they don't build them like this anymore. No, they don't.
Premier Service, just one more way. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's a toy.
You don't like it.
No, it's great.
You know, you're always going on and on about
I
how
know,
much-
I know, I know.
As they say, it's the thought that counts.
Hey, look, I really like it. It's the nicest...
Unwrap a Jaguar S-Type, now for just $4.99 per month.
Play music, watch TV, edit video, burn it to almost anything yourself. Sony Vaio MX with Intel Pentium 4 processor.
Al Skinner's club up by 4 late in the first half. He's got a very talented backcourt, but besides the raw talent, what makes the backcourt of Boston College so special?
They just complement each other well. They really don't get in each other's way. They play very differently, and one obviously has the ball, and another one doesn't need it in order to be successful. So I don't know if they are the best backcourt, but I do know they complement each other extremely well, and that allows them to be very successful.
Yeah, it is interesting when you watch them play. Neither of them seems to have to want the ball, particularly Sidney. Troy Bell may need to have it a little bit more, but Sidney just kind of, you know, he gets it and is very efficient with his offense, and I think that's really great for as you're looking for Al Skinner in the Boston College Eagles, because when you get to tournament play, you need to have good guard play.
Now take a look at the numbers that backs up everything that Al Skinner said. I mean, Sidney, what's impressive, that bottom number, 10 rebounds a game. Now that's Oscar Robertson type average there, 20 points, 10 rebounds.
Yeah, he's fearless. He'll go to the glass. He'll find people. He is a fearless basketball player.
Well, Kenny Walls made a great play defensively and also drew a foul, but unable to hit the free throw. Cyclones with the ball down by 4. Here is Jake Sullivan.
And well guarded by Troy Bell that time.
Howard, nice look inside, but through traffic, and it's fumbled out of bounds. Well, Thursday night spent an hour behind the scenes with Will Smith and the cast of the movie Ali. That'll be at 8 Eastern, and at 9 Eastern, stay tuned as Ray Oliveira and Omar Weiss spar in a 10-round junior welterweight bout at the Mohegan Sun Casino in Huntersville, Connecticut.
It's Troy Bell again. They got ready to run what they call as a flex, where you hit, and he is supposed to go down. He hit to the right, and instead of going down, he came behind the man, just got it and shot it.
Bell with 21 points, 5 of 8 shooting, 4 of 5 from behind the arc.
And 7 of 7 from the foul line.
Gee. Howard pulls up, and finally Shane Power, pretty good shooter in his own right.
You know what? He's been trying desperately to get Holman in the game, and if he can, get Pearson down on the block. That's what he's been looking to try to get.
Bill Pito coming up at halftime with SportsCenter in game. There's the stories. Alameda, New York. And of course, the upcoming UMass-UConn game, we'll preview that as well. Now, this Boston College team has scored at least 80 points, Quinn, in every game, and it didn't look 3 minutes ago like they had a shot to get to 40 at halftime, and here they are with another sprint.
Yeah, and because they picked it up in terms of the tempo a little bit. He carried the ball. You call traveling or carry. He let the ball roll in his hand as he was taking steps.
Just trying to get himself settled, wasn't he?
Yeah, but that also gives him an extra step advantage. Yeah, this is where Iowa State has gotten. I mean, you look at who's bringing the ball up the court, and you're looking at Shane Powers, who's at 6'5", playing your point guard. I mean, because they just can't get enough good play out of there.
Just over a minute left in the half, and a foul.
That'll be Agbai trying to guard Pearson on the block.
Personal foul, penalty situation.
Now Pearson will go to the free throw line. For the second time tonight, he missed 2 earlier.
Now, he's had some big games for them. He had a 21 and 18 21-point, 18-rebound game against UW-Milwaukee.
Right.
And the last time somebody had 18 rebounds was Kelvin Cato, who's now playing with the Houston Rockets when he was at Iowa State. So he does a lot of good things and he's their primary force on both sides.
16 points for Pearson. We're at County Forum here on Chestnut Hill. Boston College, Iowa State. Big East against the Big 12. Just the second meeting all time between these two schools. All the way back to 1983, the first time these two teams played, as Agbai using that wide body to get the rebound and draw the foul.
Jefferson, his second personal foul.
Iowa State almost had the ball. Boston College was driving to the basket, lost it. The ball hit the underside of the rim, and it came back to Agbai. That's how it gets when it gets fouled. I mean, Iowa State can't get a break.
Jermaine Watson comes back in. And Kenny Walls will sit down for Al Skinner.
Number 11, Ricky Morgan replaces Marcus Jefferson for Iowa State.
Yuka Agbai, who many consider perhaps the Big East's most underrated player. And Al Skinner said, don't just look at his numbers when you evaluate him, especially because he's had to play in the 5 spot when he's not really a center.
Well, that's what happens when Dornicamp gets in foul trouble. Exactly. That's why Agbai gets himself in that tough position.
There was a 6-point lead for Agbai and the Eagles. Morgan wants to get that ball in. He just does. Power, who's double teamed.
Power did exactly what you have to. You got to be strong with the ball.
Sullivan in the lane. Boy, he's made 2 or 3 of those leaners.
Yeah, that one was the first one. He looked a little bit more under control. Was able to go straight up as opposed to going forward on it. Deep. Deep.
Andrew Bryant said Troy Bell's not the only one that can do that.
He's got that one deep. Iowa State will try to go for one shot. And I would imagine Troy Bell will stay close to Sullivan. I'd look for Power to try to make a move.
Shane Power, here is Sullivan. He's double teamed, 3 seconds. Gets it over to Power, took a quick glance and an underhand attempt there. Would that have been interesting? Troy Bell, what kind of a half has he had so far? That's a pretty good game for most guys. 21 points on 7 of 7 free throw shooting, 5 of 8 from the floor, 4 of 5 from behind the arc. Sports Center in-game is standing by. Bill Pito and Jay Billis in the studio. Take it away, guys.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. You know, Jay, BC picking up right where they left off from a year ago. If they win this game, they'll be a perfect 8-0.
And they're moving up in the polls. But this is a different team than Al Skinner had last year. They rely more on their guards, Ryan Sidney and Troy Bell. In the first half, Troy Bell really carried that team, scoring 21 points. If Iowa State wants to get into this game where they can win on the road, they've got to keep pounding the ball inside to Tyree Pearson. That's where they've had success. And they've also got to keep Troy Bell off the free throw line. When you foul him, he is automatic from that line. Nobody gets to the line more often than he does.
Bell, the 21, and BC leads it at the half by 7. Coming up, the Sports Center in-game halftime report. Alberto Alomar changing team to Blockbuster in Major League Baseball. And a look ahead at UConn and UMass when we come back.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Dollar Rent-A-Car. When planning your next vacation, log on to dollar.com for our lowest rates.
Today, we're going to get a testimonial from a satisfied Dollar Rent-A-Car customer. He's agreed to tell us how he found a low rate on the perfect car. And he'll tell you all about how Dollar's award-winning website made renting a car the easiest part of planning his vacation. Here he comes now. Let's hear what he has to say. That about says it all. So when you're planning a vacation, find out how far Dollar's low rates can take you.
Make room for the steak-grilled stuffed burrito from Taco Bell. Grilled and stuffed with tender, marinated carne asada steak, it's our biggest, best burrito ever. It's the heavy-duty, portable way to think outside the bun.
Hey, yo, give it a little bit, yeah, of your love to me, baby. Yo, you see the man, with the lonely eyes, girl, take his hand, woo, you'll be surprised. Give a little bit, whoa, hey, give a little bit of my love to you.
All power toothbrushes are not created equal. Sonicare's patented sonic technology and dynamic cleaning action get your teeth whiter and healthier in 28 days, guaranteed. Ask your dentist about Sonicare.
There's no fuzz on this, Eagle.
Donovan shaves with
Chunky soup.
God! No! Mom, we're making a commercial here.
Donovan, chunky beef with country vegetables now has more beef. More lean beef to fill you up right.
More is good.
Mama, you can fill him up right after I fill him up right.
Eat your chunky, baby.
The Campbell's Chunky Beef Foursome.
Now we're more beef.
Finally, a portable vise that works wherever you do. The Record Quick Vise. It does things a vise can in places a vise can't. Made with heavy-duty resin, it can handle the tough jobs. You can take it with you because when you've got to go, you've got to go. The Record Quick Vise. Where will you use yours?
Here's a gift everyone will want to open. The compact Presario 1700T notebook with a laser-sharp screen, hot swappable drives, and a powerful Intel Pentium 3 processor, all tucked in one neat little package, which will be shipped free, courtesy of a couple of reindeer we know. It's just $12.49. So give us a jingle at 1-888-269-4609 to buy now and receive a $50 instant rebate plus free shipping. Hurry while there's still room on the sleigh.
Welcome to Sports Center in-game.
Back in the studio, great to have you with us. At the half, BC leads Iowa State by the count of 42-35. Baseball's winter meetings underway in a blockbuster deal today. Cleveland trying to cut budget, and Roberto Alomar on his way to the New York Mets, an 8-player deal. Alomar, 12-time All-Star, could be a Hall of Famer. Last year, 336, 20 homers, 100 RBIs. New Cleveland GM Mark Shapiro knows the deal will not be popular. Says Shapiro, I think I'm going to need a flak jacket when I get off the plane. Here's the Mets GM.
I think that he helps us both offensively and defensively. You know, he's a number 3 hole hitter, really wherever Bobby wants to hit him, but, you know, a switch hitter that gets on base, he slugs, he steals bases, and he improved us defensively tremendously. So, you know, our view, he's helped us all around.
The deal on the deal, Alomar and 2 minor leaguers to the Mets. Indians get Matt Lawton, who doesn't even last a full season. With the Mets acquired from the Twins for Rick Reed, Alex Escobar, the young prospect, and Jared Riggin, the talented young reliever, and 2 players to be named later, all on their way to Cleveland. Elsewhere, the Tigers trade outfielder Juan Encarnacion to the Reds for outfielder Dimitri Young. Encarnacion hit .242 with 12 homers and 52 RBIs last season, a lot worse than his numbers in 2000. Young hit .300 or higher in each of his last 4 seasons with the Reds, had 21 homers last season. Also, the Mariners and the Padres as Seattle acquires Ben Davis, Huáscar Serrano, and Alex Arias. Brett Tomko, Tom Lampkin, and Ramon Vasquez and cash are on their way to San Diego. Sports Center with more details on these trades and much more coming up after UConn and UMass. Dan Patrick and Linda Cohn. All you need to know about what's going on in the world of sports. And we're back to more on the Sports Center in-game halftime report as BC leads it by 7 at the half.
It's tough to see things clearly these days. The situation in the world, our economy, your investments. But investing is the job at Janus, and Janus is working to spot opportunities, using the approach that's worked long-term, applying lessons from the recent past, investing in companies that show signs they can perform in this economy and into the next. Get there. Janus.
Hey, what's with the cap? You got a Little League game today or something? Nah, I'm just used to it. You know, a lot of people aren't crazy about their hair. They got different ways of dealing with it, especially if you got flakes. Here's how I deal with it. I tell them use this whole new Head and Shoulders. It goes directly to the scalp to help stop flakes before they even start. So you end up looking like you were born with a great head of hair. Who'd want to cover that up? Oh, forgot your hat. No thanks.
New Head and Shoulder shampoo. Unbeatable daily dandruff protection. Unbelievably beautiful hair.
It's very late. Time is running out. The clock is ticking down. You have a paper due.
Come to Questia.com. The world's largest online library allows you to access entire books for all your research. With the new version 2.0, it's faster and easier to use. Don't get yourself into a cold sweat. Subscribe now and write better papers faster. AOL keyword Questia.
When someone took his pride,
I got beat up in front of my daughter.
Joe Shepard took a stand.
You took something of mine, I want it back.
Now, his future is taking shape.
Been waiting for someone to drop that jerk.
You man!
His legend is taking off.
They named a sandwich after me.
Oh.
And everybody is taking cover. Tim Allen.
Looks like you're hanging with the cool kids now.
Joe Somebody.
Nice hair.
Rated PG, December 21st.
Play music, watch TV, edit video, burn it to almost anything yourself. Sony Vaio MX with Intel Pentium 4 processor.
This is SportsCenter in-game.
And back at the half, Bill Pito J. Billis says BC leads Iowa State 42-35. Elsewhere, St. John's taking on Niagara. The best player for St. John's so far, at least in terms of scoring, is Marcus Hatton. And let's take a look at Marcus Hatton. Early for St. John's, he's averaging over 15 points a game, as Marcus Hatton is going to get involved here in the highlight as he drives and scores. And then it's Kyle Cuff. Watch Kyle Cuff hit the reverse, and Jay, St. John's on the road here, looking pretty good early as they're up 6 elsewhere. St. Peter's leads Seton Hall by 6.
St. John's coming off a loss to Manhattan in Madison Square Garden, where they allowed the Jaspers to shoot 53%. You mentioned Marcus Hatton, an outstanding talent, averages about 16 points per game, but just shooting 30% from the field. Mike Jarvis wants to see him do a lot better with this shooting.
Coming up here on ESPN after BC and Iowa State, it's UConn and UMass. UConn has won the last 10 meetings. UMass, though, has looked pretty good this year under first-year coach Steve Lapis. They only lost, in fact, to BC earlier this year by 2 points. Also have wins over Oregon and NC State. More on the game now from Dave Sims and Bill Raftery.
Thanks, Bill. Proximity does make for good rivalries. That's what we have on our hands here today. UConn visiting UMass. Now, if you were to start from the Connecticut campus, the Gamble Pavilion, you come out, you make a right, you make a left, you go down Route 44. Next thing you know, you're going to be on the interstate. It's 91. Get off at exit 19, make a couple of turns, and you're at the Mullins Center. And that's where we're going to be playing tonight. Jim Calhoun, he speaks to what this rivalry means.
It's a great rivalry. Schools on our pod. It's good to play rivalry games for our kids. It really, for a young team particularly, to understand you're going in there to someone else's gym, and it's going to be tough, and people are really going to want to beat you, and they're going to beat you for a whole bunch of different reasons. Some basketball, some because of tradition, location, etc.
I think all of those reasons qualify. And working with Bill Raftery tonight, we got a couple of terrific forwards this evening.
There is a rivalry, and offensively there are 2 outstanding performers as well. It might be a rivalry. When you have Caron Butler on the offensive end, he's got the ability to dominate inside or outside, can fill it up, makes passes, and an outstanding rebounder. Micah Brand, an outstanding performer. People are going to start watching and learning a lot about this wonderful little postman who can shoot the ball outside. He'll get a lot of attention from UConn.
Steve Lapis, the new UMass coach, gets his first taste of this rivalry, which has not been much won of late. You know why? Because Connecticut has won the last 10. Bill, back to you.
All right, guys, thanks. They were talking about Caron Butler, Jay, but one thing to watch, he's got a bad thigh, might be slowed down a bit.
Well, he will be slowed down. That thigh is going to be a problem for him. But Caron Butler is one of the best small forwards in the country. I think only Kareem Rush can legitimately say that he is better. He's got a great feel for the game. He's terrifically athletic. He can get into the lane off the bounce, also off the drive, and he can get out in transition, and he finishes. Caron Butler averages about 17 points per game. He's shooting just under 50% from the field. Sometimes he relies a little bit on his his outside shot, but when he takes the ball to the basket, he works along the baseline. He's one of the best in the business. But I will tell you, this is going to be an outstanding matchup between guards because Anthony Anderson from UMass has made a huge difference with this UMass team. He's opened things up for Shannon Crooks, allowed him to be more of a scorer.
All right, so it's UConn and UMass about 9 Eastern or right after BC and Iowa State. And it's College Hoops tonight with Jay and Reese Davis. More on best backcourts around the nation, top freshman, and Matt Bonner, player on the rise. That's College Hoops tonight, right here at midnight Eastern, after Sports Center. At the half, BC by 7. Enjoy the second half, everybody.
This is it, fellas. 50-inch flat panel display, surround sound, and now satellite TV.
Sweet, let's fire up the game, dude.
Not without this baby. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the new millennium. You see anything?
Not really.
No. We got an enhancer for that.
You can't get all your local stations through a satellite dish. Local channels automatically. Problem solved. Digital cable from AT&T Broadband.
You bite down on that, get in a filling.
Bill, I need to talk to you.
What is it, you and Karen break up?
No, that's not it.
Then what?
You remember how we decided that we'd have more money to buy Bud Light if we got a third roommate?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I can take her anymore.
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Charge.
Make it a Bud Light.
Look, we got a lot to do today, so let's make this quick. Get what you need, we're out of here. Agreed?
Yes.
Kevin!
We know how you feel, and that's why you can shop online and pick up at a nearby store the same day, or we'll ship to you. Circuit City, we're with you.
I think that went really well.
Where are you going so early?
Shopping?
You hate shopping.
Not when it's for you.
I'm a 6!
Come on, baby, you're a 10.
Any way you can, get to McDonald's for the new Ranchero Bagel Sandwich. With a distinctive Southwest kick, it's a spicy morning wake-up call. Made just for you on McDonald's new taste menu.
Any luck shopping?
Oh, yeah. Unexpected new tastes at your favorite place. Now on McDonald's new taste menu. McDonald's, a worldwide Olympic partner.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light.
Well, the scoreboard said Boston College has the 7-point lead, but it was an up-and-down first half, and the lead exchanging hands a couple of times. Dave Strader back along with Quinn Buckner. Coaches will very often just say to their players, I want you to be able to answer the bell, but in this case, you better have an answer for the bell, as in Troy Bell, because, boy, he just didn't disappoint in that first half.
Well, Dave, I think he wanted to get his team off to a great start, and he did that in the first half. He was looking for his opportunities at every position. Pulls up for the three, right in transition. He gets out and runs, gets that one off the glass. And then, again, quick out of the offensive three. Not to mention he got fouled. He knocked down foul shots, did a great job, had 3 steals to go along with it. The only reason Iowa State was in it was because of Tyree Pearson. He was able to get the ball down on the post and demand it and make some plays, both on the offensive end as well as the defensive end. So they need Pearson to have more of his good play. But if Iowa State don't want to go in to win the game, they need some help. Because Troy Bell's got some help, and I suspect we may see a little bit more of Ryan step up here in the second half.
Iowa State 5 turnovers in their first 6 possessions, but how about, you shoot 70% on the road and you're down at the half. Boston College, though, getting some points off of turnovers.
Well, that's what it was. I mean, because they got 8 steals on 12 turnovers by Iowa State.
Ryan Sidney unable to connect on his first basket, but there's the strength inside of Agbai getting the basket and drawing the foul.
Tough shot, because he makes this one basically over the back of his head. They were trying to get Sidney going early. He misses off the glass. Watch this. I mean, he's got his head back to the basket.
Oh, yeah.
Far away, and he just puts it on the glass with a little English and knocks it down. And that's the way Al Skinner wants his club to come out. When you're coming out at the beginning of the third, the first 5 minutes can generally determine the outcome of the game, particularly when you have a team as young as Iowa State.
Let's see how Iowa State handles this pressure. Now Holman double teamed, and it was knocked away by Kenny Walls.
Number 15, Adam Shumper is in.
They'll take a look at Iowa State, and they've had success in the first half, limiting their opponents to just 25 points on 33% shooting, but it's the second half, and is that because they've got so few players playing so many minutes?
Sure, it's that and inexperience, but because they're playing so many minutes, it's a big part of it. As Jake Sullivan just drills a three.
Now this kid's having a perfect night so far, Quinn. 5 for 5 from the floor, 3 for 3 from behind the arc. He's hit both of his free throws. 15 points now. Just one off the team lead of Tyree Pearson, so that is tremendous efficiency as Agbai misses on the 17-footer.
Quick snatch by, wow, I'm telling you, Sidney snatched that so quick that it looked as though Powers was going to have it in his hand, and before he knew it, Ryan had it back and in the basket. They got to get it across.
In the three-point shooting in Boston College, 7 for 9 so far on the night. Now Shane Powers spins into the lane and was knocked away by Agbai.
Well, I think Dornicamp may have just gotten his third foul. I mean, they want so badly to have him in the game. I'm looking over at the bench of Boston College. They know that this is a tough call. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. Watch him, watch his arm. Watch the ball come down. Watch Dornicamp. Well, it's hard to see there. His right arm, he actually was grabbing the Iowa State player. Dornicamp picked his fourth. Now, they may give it to Agbai, but no, they give it to Dornicamp. Yeah, so he picked up his fourth foul right there.
Well, he tries to plead his case to the official, who just says, you better just go over and sit down.
Well, his reaction was way more than it needed to be. But watch, turning inside. That's a pretty good block. I mean, he had all ball on that. I think they may have called something under the body, but that's a pretty good block. The holdup is they want Dornicamp to stay, I think, stay on the floor until after the first foul shot. Yeah, that's really what it was.
Yeah. Well, Brian Ross, as he did in the first half, coming off the bench here with Dornicamp drawing the fouls. As Tyree Pearson hits them both, gets the Cyclones back to within 8. Bell looking for the high screen. Gives it back now to Ross.
Iowa State in man-to-man, trying to be a little bit more aggressive.
Here is Sidney at the free throw line. He'll look inside for Agbai. Ross is open on the wing. Short. Long rebound is chased down by the Cyclones, and a pushing foul against Ross. Brian Ross a little aggressive there against Pearson, trying to get that ball back.
Yeah, he probably should have backed off of that play. There's really not much to be had. I mean, once you don't get the rebound, all right, we'll get a chance. Pearson has it. But you know why? He did. He came underneath. He didn't push him with his hands. He pushed him with his hips.
Yep. That's what that good camera shot showed there, was a lower body foul. Here's Jefferson into the lane, and he hits it.
Nice stroke by Jefferson, getting in the paint, beating that pressure.
Iowa State won't go away, Quinn.
No, one thing that Larry Eustace's teams have always done, they play hard, regardless of the score.
Now Ross being watched by Pearson up high. Kenny Walls looking inside. Nice dish there to Bell. They did this a couple of times in the first half. where they got Bell running along the baseline, tried to find him underneath.
Yeah, they call that a flex offense, where you end up on the baseline, and he cut hard, gets a good pass, and Sullivan definitely puts his arm on him. If he doesn't, Bell's got an easy basket.
Second foul against Sullivan. Now Kenny Walls inside to Agbai, off the glass and in, and he's fouled.
Execution.
10 points for Agbai, and Adam Schaffer, I believe, who had just checked into the ballgame, is going to draw the foul.
Solid on the turn. Walls goes up. Help comes over. Agbai gets it. Not much doubt about the foul, but good execution.
So Agbai completes the three-point play.
And this is a touchy point, I think, for Iowa State. 2 more baskets, and they get outside of their scoring, their ability to score to get back in a game.
The reversal of the ball. Howard contact, and it's going to be an offensive foul.
Oh, that's a tough ball.
Larry Eustachy doesn't like it at all.
It's one that usually goes to the offense because he goes away from it. Oh, that's a tough call. Oh, tough.
Yeah.
And the reason it is because he dropped his arm. If his arm stayed up, it's pretty clean, but that's a tough call.
Sidney finds Bell. Thought he was going to pull the trigger quickly. He stepped back. Maybe he was too close. That's why he didn't shoot it the first time.
I mean, he shot it through the arms of 2 Iowa State players. I thought he was going to get fouled on that one.
People don't understand how important confidence is for a shooter. There's a lot of good shooters, but great shooters just have the confidence that if you don't block it, it's probably going in.
Well, he's also got the ultimate green light, too.
Yeah, that helps. And a scramble, and Sullivan knows that he just picked up his third.
Well, he came through there hard, too.
And that immediately draws Morgan, number 11, off the bench.
Just went after it with great effort. I mean, everybody was pretty lucky. Good effort on the part of Sullivan. Fortunately, no one gets hurt. Sullivan has to sit down with 3.
But that's the mentality that Eustachy wants. I mean, when he runs the drills in practice, Quinn, when there's a loose ball or a dead ball, if it rolls out of bounds or in the bleachers, the play is not dead in practice until somebody has the ball.
Well, that's the way it should be. I mean, you play until you hear the whistle.
Morgan finds Jefferson. He goes into traffic and draws the foul. So Mickey Morgan doing a nice job there. The transition offense.
Yeah, he did a good job by getting it up ahead.
His first personal foul, 4 team fouls.
Important minutes for that young man, Ricky Morgan, because you know that as well as Jake Sullivan was playing, that the last thing Eustachy wanted was to take him out of the ball game, but forced to because of the 3rd foul.
Because he loses an offensive threat. So now he's got to find somebody else to step up to the plate. Pearson has been solid. Sullivan had been solid in the first half. Now they need someone else to step up with Sullivan on the bench.
Jefferson hits the 2nd free throw. And we've talked a lot about the backcourt, rightfully so, for Boston College. But Yuka Agbai has made his presence felt as well with 11 points and a couple of rebounds.
ESPN and ESPN2, home of the NCAA Women's College Basketball Championship.
Could a mid-size sedan bring joy to your life? It can if it has a powerful V6, plenty of room for 5, and the freedom of America's best warranty plan. Introducing the new Hyundai Sonata. Life is better with one.
Holiday season, share the gift of Stetson.
Here in Italy, there's a place where the chicken marsala is so good you never forget it. And now Chef Neri has taught our Olive Garden chefs the secrets of her recipe so they can make it for you tonight. Olive Garden, when you're here, you're family.
Buckle up, little buddy.
Let go!
Hershey's chocolate milk. Great chocolate milk.
Number 11, Boston College trying to go to 8-0, leading Iowa State 54-43 here early in the second half. Immediately following our game, a New England border war, Karan Butler, freshman Ben Gordon, and the rest of the Connecticut Husky visit Shannon Crooks. Coach Steve Lapis and the UMass Minutemen. College basketball continues here on ESPN. Second half of our doubleheader. Dave Sims, Bill Raftery standing by. Just a little bit west of here on the Mass Pike. From the Mullen Center in Amherst. Nice give and go. Boy, that's just like you diagram it. Great execution, and Sidney able to finish off the feed from Wall.
Yeah, just like they had it in the huddle. I don't think there's any doubt. Al Skinner drew that one up. Throw the ball, go and get a good back screen, and then Sidney gets off the snide, if you will, here in the second half, because they want him to get going so Troy Bell does not have to carry all of the offensive load.
Pearson with that leaner. Boy, look at him go up against 3 Boston College defenders and get the offensive glass and put it back in.
The quickness of the ball.
Iowa State taking on number 11 Boston College here in Chestnut Hill. Dave Strader along with Quinn Buckner. One half of our NCAA doubleheader. And Ryan Sidney to the glass, spins it in, and draws the foul.
Well, I tell you, it was an awkward move. And Shane kind of got in his face because of the way Sidney handled it. And Sidney's got a little game in him, too, so he kind of showed him up. But it's a tough move. He fakes him left. I mean, right goes left, it goes right.
Yeah, there's the little Olay.
Now, at that point, Sidney just needs to back off.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no need for all of that.
Well, some of the Boston College people are saying the only thing that the broken jaw being wired shut has hindered Sidney post-game interviews, because he loves to talk to the media. Through the leg save.
He's got to do it with style. He just can't do it. Got to be with little flair. That one would have been easy to just kind of throw back to Troy Bell, but he comes with it between his legs. But you're right. He is a guy that likes to. Now watch this. Just a little something there. Little style. And then Troy got fouled by the freshman Ricky Morgan. But he is a guy, as I was talking to the coaching staff, that they say that loves to talk to you. I mean, very personable young man, very bright. I mean, all over his grades. I mean, they're really pleased to have him in the program.
And again, from Pioneer High School in Ann Arbor. And what's he do when he goes up to Michigan, his hometown, to play against the University of Michigan earlier this year? 29 points, 15 rebounds.
And it's the 15 rebounds that's surprising. I mean, you know, anybody probably can score. I mean, if you really got scoring ability, but he's got tenacity, leaping ability, and quickness to get to the glass.
Quinn, we all know that kids can sometimes slip through the cracks because they develop at different rates physically. As Ricky Morgan pays the price for going to the basket, but I give credit to Brian Ross showing the sportsmanship.
He better, because otherwise he's going to get a little more than just a foul.
But just to finish the point on Sidney, it's hard to believe that he would be missed, just because I'm sure this toughness, this mental toughness that he is showing is not something that just happened in the last year.
I don't know if he was considered missed. I think what happened was, as I talked to people, he was considered a 6'2" power forward. Now, truthfully, those are the kind of players that normally go to Iowa State. Right. Because I've seen Larry Eustace and Tim Floyd have guys 6'2" in the power forward. So they felt there was no position to play. But you're right, he shows such tenacity that you would think, all right, maybe we can just put him out on the floor and let him play. And that's what Al Skinner has decided to do. You just put him on the floor and let him play. Because he's playing against Powers. Powers is 6'5".
Here is Bell just off the front iron. Jefferson and Ross battling, and it looks like it's going to go against
Ross.
Yeah, yes, it is. That'll be his third personal foul.
But more importantly, what they've got to look for an opportunity to do is get themselves in a bonus situation.
Still shooting 65% from the floor, Iowa State, but as you were saying in the last break, when they just can't get enough attempts. Unless you do that, and that's the first one Sullivan's missed tonight.
Yeah, that one was too close. He's been knocking down threes.
There was Sidney all the way to the basket. That one wouldn't go. A little too low off the glass. Cyclones have numbers. Find him inside, and that's the way to finish.
Good job that time. They had numbers 4 on 1. I got the strong finish. Ricky Morgan making a good decision.
Now Morgan with the defensive assignment against Bell. Ross, good job to catch that pass, and then he is fouled going to the basket.
Had to be. Pearson made a stab for a steal, and Morgan had to make sure he didn't get an easy layup. Oh, they're going to look at look like Sidney. Is he coming out of the game? Well, they were looking at him. I don't know if they're going to get him out of the game because I thought he might have got poked. He's looking at where he's got his mouth wired. You know what? Doesn't look like he's in much pain, though.
Jeez. He sure doesn't show it.
And he'll tell you he's got a high pain threshold. I think he may be bleeding.
Yeah. He's going to have to be on a liquid diet for the next 4 weeks.
He's lost about 10 to 12 pounds, but it hadn't bothered his toughness at all. Getting a little rinse out and go back at it again.
So Ross now with 6 points as he hits both free throws. Boston College with the 14-point lead, but the Eagles have shown that they don't necessarily handle big leads well.
No, they don't. They get a little bit of, fall into a malaise a little bit.
Jake Sullivan looking for the screen.
Well, they're ready to double team off the screen.
Nice dish to Bynum. That's knocked away. Bynum though stays with it.
The shot clock
still going. That ball's tipped by Walls. Kenny Walls may have looked like a defensive back there. He has a twin brother.
Right.
Lenny, who's a starting quarterback on the Boston College football team that is bowl bound. Sullivan has to force the three and just came up short.
Well, I wonder why. He was only probably about 30 feet from the basket.
Now Jermaine Watson in the ball game. Well, Sullivan, he ran into Agbai. That's a screen. You better have a warning at least.
Good pass. Oh, caught it on the backboard. I thought he had the pass where it needed to be.
Pearson fakes, unable to finish. Iowa State gets it back. And it's going to be a foul against Boston College.
The first thing has to happen. Pearson's got to throw the ball. He had a man out ahead of him that he didn't throw the ball to on his right. I don't care about you being in the middle. If a man's out in front of you, you must release the ball, young players. And even if you have to run a break, for, if you will, from the side.
Well, Skinner says to Ryan Sidney, okay, you've had enough of a break. Get back in there.
Yeah, he probably rinsed his mouth out, and he's just ready to go.
He's going to replace Kenny Wallace. So Al Skinner going with Watson, Sidney, and Bell. A small lineup here. Agbai and Ross.
In the long run, that's going to be the challenge for Boston College. They're going to end up playing, especially if Dornicamp keeps getting in foul trouble. They end up with a small lineup, which puts them at risk in terms of rebounding the basketball.
Sidney to Agbai, and Agbai with a baseline jumper, no good, and that's going to be over the back. And Jermaine Watson of the Eagles will be called for the foul.
Yeah, this is where Iowa State has to get to. Got to make foul shots now because they got themselves in a position to get in the bonus.
Morgan missed the front end of a one-on-one in the first half. Just a 60% free throw shooter coming in.
You know what was interesting on the offensive end for Boston College is Sidney knows how to enter the ball into the post. A lot of players don't. I mean, he ball faked and threw that ball exactly where it had to be. Agbai just missed the shot.
Well, Morgan 0 for 2, so the guy that's going to have the ball in his hands, you want him to be able to knock down those free throws. Bell to Sidney. That'll be a 3, and that's off.
Off? Yeah, that's off.
That is off. And Morgan again making a good decision with the ball, and Marcus Jefferson able to finish. Down by 11. 11, Iowa State again hanging tough. They need some stops here, though, at the defensive end. Watson, good fake one way, and then ducks underneath and lays it in.
Yeah, he just made a tough move for young Ricky Morgan to handle. Drop step.
Watson?
Yeah, drop step.
Looked like a little square dance move there between Shane Power and Jermaine Watson.
I'm sure Shane Power helped it, but Watson's got to do a better job of getting his arm down.
Shane Power line shooting one.
The little tango, get a chance to see the tango where he's got him good. It might have been, they could have gotten away. They could have called an offensive foul on that, but I think the first foul you might want to look at is the one where you have Watson's arm shoving on Power on the push, on the turn.
Shane Powers 5 times this year already. Quinn has played all 40 minutes. And he hit both free throws again. Larry Eustachy's club is hanging tough. They're back inside that double-digit mark, and still 11:32 to go here in the second half. Boston College trying to remain perfect.
Could a mid-size sedan bring joy to your life? It can if it has a powerful V6, plenty of room for 5, and the freedom of America's best warranty plan. Introducing the new Hyundai Sonata. Life is better with one.
Ocean's 11 is turning the heads of critics all over America.
You gotta be nuts. Exactly.
Rolling Stone says Ocean's 11 is the coolest thing around.
That's exactly what it is. Pure ego.
Entertainment Weekly says so much wit, brains, dazzle, and virtuosity it hits you like a shot of pure oxygen.
You really didn't think I was gonna sit this one out, did you?
People Magazine says jackpot, pure fun from start to finish.
Either in or you're out. Right now.
Ocean's 11, rated PG-13, now playing.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? For more cargo room, more people room, or more headroom. Enterprise. So easy, it's like having a second car. Or third.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Make room for the steak grilled stuffed burrito from Taco Bell. Grilled and stuffed with tender, marinated carne asada steak. It's our biggest, best burrito ever. It's the heavy-duty, portable way to think outside the bun.
Bill Pito back in the studio, St. John's and Niagara. Marcus Hatton, St. John's is leading scorer, averaging 15.8 a game. Hangs and gets the roll, and it's a 1-point game by the half elsewhere. 1-7 St. Peter's. Look at that, leading Seton Hall by 3, also at the half.
All right, Bill, thanks very much. Right here at Boston College, the 7-0 Eagles, ranked number 11 in the country. They moved up a couple of notches in the polls.
Well, the Big East, you know, they've got, you know, Syracuse and Georgetown are in there as well. You know, Sydney in the post. How about that? You know, we're talking about Boston College at 11, but they do. Syracuse is having a solid year, and Georgetown is having a great year as well. So far here early.
Inside Tyree Pearson. They've kind of gotten away from getting him the ball early in the offense, and they do it there, and it pays off. Now Bell trying to go all the way, and Bynum slapped it away.
He did.
Now Morgan finds Pearson. Oh, look at the hustle. Agbai coming from behind, got the ball. Here is Sidney into the lane, the floater. Just kind of lost control and colliding.
Agbai and Pearson bumped into each other as Pearson was turned to run back. Oh, he's bleeding too. Yeah, he's got to go. He may have hit him in the mouth. On the right side of the screen, you'll see Pearson was just turning to run, and Agbai hadn't, you know, made his turn yet.
Number 34, Andrew Bryant replaces UConn.
Agbai with the ice, you see right on the chin.
Yeah, he got it on the chin, and we're out on the floor.
Number 0,
Iowa State is Chris Vernon, their trainer out there. Pearson, but he's got to sit down because he's bleeding.
Just a little more than a half of this second half still on the clock. Iowa State on the road, down by 11. Andrew Bryant jumped out there on the switch, but they get it inside, and able to finish there was Bynum.
Yeah, Morgan does a good job finding the man.
We're at the County Forum, Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. 11th ranked Boston College Eagles from the Big East. Iowa State Cyclones from the Big 12. Bell pulls up for the three that is short. Outlet now to Shane Power.
The other thing about it, when Iowa State plays against Boston College, if they don't make shots, it's a little harder for them to get into their press as Jake Sullivan gets in. That's when Boston College was doing well. They're making shots. It's a lot easier to set up your press.
Now Sullivan continues to roll along, 17 points on 6 of 8 shooting. And Al Skinner and Boston College decides they want to talk it over. Again, Boston College has blown some big leads, but Jake Sullivan's a guy that can break down the defense when all else fails. 17 points, second only to Pearson's 22. Iowa State still in it.
No boundaries, no problem. Ford has an SUV for any lifestyle. And now's the perfect time to get the SUV that's perfect for you. Get financing as low as 0% on the #1 selling sport utility in the world, Ford Explorer. Now with a lower, wider stance for a smoother ride. Or get great deals on every Ford SUV, including Ford Expedition, with a double 5-star front crash test rating and #1 in initial quality by J.D. Power. If you want to go anywhere, there's only one place to start. See your New England Ford dealer today.
Every car has its moment. This one has thousands per second. The new BMW 3 Series.
Test drive the ultimate driving machine at your local BMW center.
ESPN goes on location for the filming of one of the most anticipated movies this holiday season, Ali, starring Will Smith. Real classics uncut, Ali, beginning at 8, followed by a special Thursday night fight, live from Mohegan Sun, Thursday on ESPN.
When my time on Earth is gone and my activities here are past, I want they bury me upside down and my critics can kiss my ass.
Well, a 6-0 run by the Cyclones, and they have cut that lead down to 7. And the two guys that we talked about at the top, Troy Bell and Jake Sullivan, doing it for their respective teams.
Yeah, they're going to make shots. Troy Bell makes them with good range, has the ability to get to the cup as he does right there. But Jake Sullivan has been every bit as good for his team. Pulls up with a low runner, a tough shot to make there with Bell on him deep, drills a 3. Right now, Bell is up. It looks like 26-17, and his club is up by 7.
Jake Sullivan struggled with just 8 points against Iowa, 2 for 8 shooting. Just coming off again that knee injury. Bit of a forced 3 there by Andrew Bryant. He's had some success from outside the arc tonight. Now Morgan, that's a tough bounce pass. And it's out of bounds. Last touch, they say, by Bryant. You see the comparison. Quinn was talking about the points.
Iowa State had a well-run play with Shane Powers, gets the ball in the paint, and he misses the layup. Fortunately for Iowa State, they get it back.
Yeah, Sidney had the ball, but he was on the baseline.
Pearson's back in the game.
Got the bandage and no. Right at Andrew Bryant that time.
Just raised him off the floor.
EC foul number 34, Andrew Bryant, his second personal foul.
No, Pearson getting to the free throw line. Has hit his last 4 after missing his first 2.
It's also pretty good. He's got 14 foul shots. I'm sorry, he's got 6 foul shots. I was looking at his game shot. But importantly, what I said earlier starts to come into play. They've got to get to the foul line and score.
Yes.
From the foul line, because if they do that, then there's no clock running, even though they have a lot of time.
Well, they are back to within 5. Remember, Boston College led that UMass game Saturday night here by 25 in the second half. The 30-8 UMass run. Belt was all the way, lays it in. He turned the corner on Shane Power. There was no help side defense at all.
That is poor recognition defensively by Iowa State. You've got to know where the ball is.
28 points for Bell, so he may have a shot at his career high that he just set Saturday night against UMass. Here is Morgan in the corner. That is short. Bell looked out, and I thought he was going to pull right up, but he wanted the defense to think that as well. Drew the contact and pulled back and banked it in.
Yeah, we'll see. They're getting a little bit momentum.
30 points for Bell.
That's what your leaders do. When you get to a point where it seems like things are getting away, you find a way to get it in the hoop. Troy Bell here, Powers is up on him close and just kind of heads and shoulders goes by. No help. Troy Bell easily to the basket on that side, and then he comes to the other side. Other side takes the hit, knocks it off the glass. And it was interesting when they played Morris Brown, when Boston College played Morris Brown, they were playing in the game. And Ryan had to say something to Bell because he didn't come with his mind focused and ready to play. So it's kind of interesting, you know, that you need to be juiced up or jazzed, if you will, to come and play a game.
Yeah.
But that's been the case.
Look at the numbers the last 2 games with still some work to be done here tonight with 8.5 on the clock. 16 of 28 from the floor. Just a couple of layups. The rest of them have
been bombs.
They have been bombs, a variety of shots. Got to admire what this Iowa State club has done. Good ball fake by Selman. Had it knocked away, recovered. Puts it off the glass, no good. Now Bynum.
Well, they get a break there. They couldn't get it to go down because Dornekamp is back in there.
Well, Pickett Sidney anticipating that entry pass.
You know, he's really I had talked to my colleague, Clark Kellogg, who I work with, and he had told me that Ryan was good. Sidney is really good. I mean, he's got good quickness, anticipation, understands how to play. And there's no question about his confidence. I mean, he sees that pass the whole way. He doesn't have to kick it. He just grabs it. He actually had a dribble. I don't think he knew it.
Yeah,
at any rate,
he did.
Just going to put a dribble the ball. But just showing you that, as Al Skinner said, coach of Boston College, you don't need, you know, they both don't need the ball. They complement each other.
Wednesday night, tomorrow night, ESPN Regional NHL action. Wednesday night hockey presented by Nextel. Some of you will see the Islanders and the Devils in an Eastern Conference matchup, and I'll be with Darren Pang in Chicago tomorrow night as the St. Louis Blues take on the Chicago Blackhawks. All coming your way, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Wednesday night hockey here on ESPN. And that last play by Ryan Sidney, I mean, he's the taller player, too. Usually it's the little guys that get low and steal those balls, but against the shorter Morgan, he went down and was able to get it.
He got what they call good quicks. He's very quick.
Boy, Pearson battling under there, but couldn't get the little jump hook to go. Kenny Walls wanted that ball. Decides he's going to take the 3. And there was some contact there, but Jake Sullivan comes down with the rebound, pushes it ahead. Power, he pulls up for the 3, and I believe that was deflected.
Well, I'm trying to see if they get the ball back.
Well, we'll have to wait and see whose ball it is. 7:18 remaining here in the second half. The 11th ranked and unbeaten Eagles of Boston College in front by 9.
Could a mid-size sedan bring joy to your life? It can if it has a powerful V6, plenty of room for 5, and the freedom of America's best warranty plan. Introducing the new Hyundai Sonata. Life is better with one.
It's different down here.
2002. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Rated E for everyone.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Hyundai, where the freedom of America's best warranty, the Hyundai Advantage, is standard equipment. And by EA Sports and NBA Live 2002. If it's in the game, it's in the game.
Well, two lucky fans here enjoy the luxurious courtside seats in the Barca loungers provided there. But just to make sure that these chairs were ready to go.
Got to check them out.
Yeah, they were tested before the game, and this is how Quinn Buckner prepares for the game.
Just enjoying it a little bit. Oh,
hey,
what are you doing?
Who let you in my living room?
Exactly. I'm just testing the chair, making sure it was all right for the two fans.
Boy, you get nervous about this television stuff, don't you?
I've not seen chairs like this front row before, so I had to give it a shot. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Dave. Thank you.
I'm not running the camera. Off the hands of Walls. Now let's take a look at our CDW storyline for tonight's game. Well, Iowa State still managing to shoot 54%. They were at about 65-70% for the longest time. Tyree Pearson leading the way with his 24 points. And Troy Bell just 4 shy of his career high, which he set Saturday night.
Boy, he's got his hands full. Sean Powers is being guarded by Troy Bell. I mean, he had him covered up.
Dornekamp is back in the ball game. Big 7-footer. Main power. Boy, you shoot one air ball, and they just won't let you hear the end of it.
Let him forget about it. He had travel of 3 seconds, but there wasn't much he could do there.
Well, Al Skinner's club, you never want to think as a coach that your team can or can't turn the switch on or off, but it looks like Boston College at times says, okay, we got to pick up our intensity offensively, and Bell will do something harder, Sidney, and defensively as well.
And those kind of things catch up with you. I know Al Skinner, I've known him for many years, and he's tried to warn his club, and you can give them all the information you want. At some point, the players have to make it a part of their belief system that they've got to come play with effort for the entire 40 minutes. And I'm sure Al Skinner and his staff is trying to get his club to take that as their own belief.
On the switch, Bell being watched by Bynum. Now they'll switch back. Bryant had it slapped away, and Omar Bynum, the junior from Omaha, thought he had the block.
Iowa State
Wednesday at 8 Eastern. Kansas, talented and balanced attack. They will take on Coach John Thompson III, Princeton Tigers. Always a disciplined program. Princeton Tigers, number 5 Kansas Jayhawks. That's tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Drew Gooden and company.
Yeah, and company. Boy, we've got some company for Drew Gooden, I'll tell you that.
Well, Dornekamp sits down.
Well, I think the big clap was because he was able to sit down because he was taken out of the game, not because he was in foul trouble.
Yeah. Now Skinner, perhaps a little bit of a situational substitution as well, getting that quick lineup out there now to set up the press. 10-point difference. Sullivan.
I actually like Dornekamp in even off the press, because I tell you what happens. That shot you can't get that shot.
Yeah, that's right. Good point.
Enough, you can't get to it.
Shane Powers shaking off the crowd, riding him about the air ball. It makes a very difficult baseline shot.
Yeah, you make a shot that quiets him down just a tad, but he may hear it again.
Yes, he just might. Here's Bryant, looks underneath. Sidney spins that little one-hand floater. Boy, he's an outstanding low-post player.
Yeah, that's really what I think turned some people off about it. They didn't think he could do that in college. What he has going for him is a very quick release and a confident level that is supreme. He is very confident in his ability to score down there. And lightning quick off his feet.
Sullivan in traffic had it blocked. Here comes Kenny Walls. Power is back. Nice pass to Bryant. That's hit against the board there by Jefferson. And Bynum starts it back the other way. Shane Power open for the three, and he nails it.
Well, I think they'll be real quiet now. He's made 5 points, and they keep talking about air ball. Got his team down 7. How about that block, though?
Bell goes right in to the teeth of the defense and draws the foul and makes a difficult floater. 32 points now for Troy Bell.
God dang. Really tough. I mean, you talked about how high he jumps. The other thing to take into consideration when he gets himself into position is how quickly he jumps. I mean, he got it up and toward the basket before any of the help could get there. All they could do was foul him.
The Big East co-player of the year last season, and one shy of that career high here at the Conkey Forum. Troy Bell in the Boston College Eagles home court, playing host to Iowa State. First half of our NCAA doubleheader. UMass and Connecticut set to do battle.
How about that? I can't find anybody to throw it to, so let me put it in the basket from 3. Jefferson drilled it.
Jefferson with 11 points now. 3 Cyclones in double figures, as do the Eagles. Sidney spins one way, goes the other, put it up short off the glass. .45 left in the second half. Here was Jefferson off of that 3-point trip last time down.
And he's pretty disciplined. I mean, he didn't try to force a shot. So you better stick a fork in that one.
Got tangled up. Ball comes free. And 5 seconds on the shot clock. Sullivan gets it back to Power. He'll try the three. He hits it again.
Oh, he'll quiet him with that one.
Wow.
He'll quiet him with that shot.
What's that, 10 points now?
Yeah, he's been on the road. Well, he's made, I think, 8 in a row.
8, yeah. He now has 12, and it's a 4-point ball game inside to Sidney. He's their new low post threat, and he doesn't get the basket, but he draws the foul.
Well, that's not a bad deal. Because one area that I think Ryan Sidney needs to improve upon is his ability to shoot foul shots. He's not a great foul shooter. But after, I mean, they've been getting on Power, and he just drills it, and he knows it right away. He's looking at it, backing up. Oh, you're right. It does get quiet here. That's why it was a good foul, because Sidney doesn't shoot foul shots well.
He came in shooting just under 53% from 3 and just under 53% from the line.
Yeah, and the 3, honestly, he's probably worked more at the 3 than he has at the foul shot.
Well, he hits the second of 2. You know, the Cyclones are staying in the ball game, Quinn, because they're doing it at both ends. Look at Jefferson getting it done with the block, and then he said, I've got some range as well.
Everything she means to you, and everything she ever will. The 3-stone necklace for your past, present, and future. The diamond is forever.
So, genetics gave you one kind of hairstyle. Maybe you'd prefer another? Presenting Physique. Scientifically designed to give you 20 hours of the hairstyle you want. The Physique Volumizing Collection gives 20 hours of body and fullness. Or the Physique Straight Shape Collection gives 20 hours of smoothness. So, while genetics may be predetermined, your style is totally up to you. 20-hour volumizing and straight shape collections from Physique.
Use MSN to get online. Use it to buy cashmere sweater for older sister. Use it to buy pearl earrings for younger sister. And gift exchange with sisters, it's at 7 p.m. Want an internet service you can really use? MSN from Microsoft is the great alternative to AOL. MSN, more useful every day.
lot more interesting, I think, than the fans here at County Forum would like. Number 11 Boston College 7-0, trying to go 8-0. Saturday against UMass, right here, up by 13 at half. Or excuse me, up by 23 at half, and stretched it out to 25 before winning by just 2.
Well, I think it goes a little bit back to what Al Skinner was talking about. I mean, they've called it survival, but they're the hunted. They can't sneak up on people.
That's right.
And what they're finding is that they can't afford to fall asleep because people are hunting them when they do fall asleep. They used to just kind of, if they fell asleep, oh, they'll be all right. But now they're coming after them. And that's just part of being a good team.
Down by 5 with the ball. Huge possession here for the Cyclones. He's showing good patience. Still 2:40 to go in the half. Now down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Jefferson into the paint with the jump step, draws the contact, and the foul's going to go against Andrew Bryant.
Well, it was a good 2-foot stop that Jefferson came to that got that going. Larry Stacey has to be happy about the fact that his team is in position with these 2 foul shots, if made, down 3.
Number 50, Marcus Jefferson at the line, Iowa State, shooting 2.
Well, that's what Iowa State has to do, knock down those free throws.
Well, the thing they've started to do now, though, they've put Boston College in a position where Boston College has got to make shots. You know, they had such a big lead before that making shots wasn't necessarily as important, but they've got to find ways to score now.
1 possession game.
Who would have thought? Because it looked like it was getting ready to get away from Iowa State when BC went up 13.
Troy Bell being chased by Shane Power.
Tough cover for Power.
Now again, Bynum. Bell with a little head fake like he was going to go up with it. Now Bryant will launch the 3, and that was off the back iron. Sidney with the rebound. Nice look underneath. Quickly to Bell, who lays it in. That's a new career high for Troy Bell.
I'm telling you, Sidney is some kind of boy. That's a pass. He makes so quickly. Bell gets big numbers. But the compliment of Sidney is excellent for this team. Long rebound. It'll go left. Now watch Sidney get it. Right away, see the open man. And, I mean, he gets it there quickly.
4th foul against Sullivan. Bell 11 for 11 from the free throw line. 36 points. And for the 3rd time this season, Quinn, the backcourt tandem of Bell and Sidney have gone over the 50-point mark. 6-point lead under 2 minutes. Sullivan with 4 fouls. Lost it.
They're still in good shape. They've got to play solid defense. So that's Iowa State.
Bell signaling the play. Agbai flashes out. Now Sidney goes into the low post. They've been looking for him. Marcus Jefferson and Sidney having quite a battle. Kenny Walls off the screen. Just had it slip out of his hands.
Actually, some pretty good defense. I thought he might have got touched by a little bit there, but at any rate, they're letting him play. They won't let you do that, though. Bryant came over the top.
No, both teams with 10 fouls, so Pearson will shoot a pair.
Number 34, Tyree Pearson.
Pearson been rock solid for them.
He now has hit 7 straight from the line, Tyree Pearson. Look at Troy Bell, new career high, 10 for 17 from the floor, 5 of 8 from behind the arc. Pearson misses a long rebound opportunity there for Bynum, and he just couldn't find the handle.
Couldn't get a grip on it because the ball came to him. They'd had a chance to get a make there. They'll open the court up a little bit.
Boston College has hit that magic number of 80. They hit it right on against UMass, so they've had 80 or more in every game as they've hit the 80-point mark here. Bell just going to take some time off the clock here.
Well, this is a tough cover for Shane Powell. I mean, they're setting the screen, and Bell really didn't want it.
Yeah, you're right. I think he wanted just the space to work with and just use his quickness and
Yeah, because he's a point guard playing against Shane Power at the shooting guard position. He's just too much quickness. Pin is about to drop.
And if it had, we would have heard it. Connecticut UMass, Dave Sims, Bill Raftery standing by at the Mullen Center in Amherst. Bell keeps it going. 13 for 13 from the line, 38 points. Ooh. 7 points separate the two teams. Iowa State needs a quick bucket and then a stop on the press. They get the quick bucket from Power.
He's got a deceptive-looking game, but he manages to get some things done.
Boy, Bell is just so hard to trap.
Yeah, it's too tough a cover for Power. I mean, they can foul him if they want to get the ball out of his hands. Oh, he got it from
Jefferson, and a collision, and Sidney find them both battling. That's Iowa State on the possession.
Yeah.
Now 5 points. Iowa State still has a chance to do something. Larry Eustachy's club has called a timeout here, so 20.2. Now, Quinn, obviously a two-possession game with 20 seconds to go. I'm sure that Larry Eustachy's talking
get
something to get to the basket quickly.
Yeah, try to get, if you can, get to the basket. The first open look you get, you take it. And then after that, I think you got to make it a foul shooting game. You got to find out if Boston College can make foul shots to give yourself a chance.
You got to find somebody besides Troy Bell, though, to foul.
Well, Al Skinner, I'm sure, is telling Troy Bell, you get back to get the ball. I don't care who's got it. You get back to get it. And then Troy Bell's just had himself one heck of a night, career night if you already. Career high 38 points, solid from the foul line, so that's who you want to be in position to make that play.
Omar Bynum will trigger it from the sideline. Power gets a high screen.
I got a nice screen. This is who they want to shoot it.
Yep. Sullivan got it, gets into the paint, puts it in. A tough runner in traffic. They're down by 3, 10 seconds.
And Powers held him. Powers held Troy Bell. Yeah, he held him. He was trying to make sure he didn't get the ball because it was, as we were just talking about, Bell's made foul shots, so you don't want him to get the ball. Sullivan does a nice job. Again, he gets in the paint, comes to a 2-foot stop, gets it to go down. I mean, we've talked about the two guys from Minnesota. Both have played well. Sullivan with 19, but Troy Bell on the line looking to get point 39 and 40.
Jake Sullivan just walked by Troy Bell, made a little bit of contact, just brushed by him.
Well, he's just, I'm sure he just reminded him of, some of those days back in Minnesota AAU days. And Al Skinner was really disappointed that they allowed him to do that. Didn't bother Troy.
Yeah. Pinn's 40. Got to go all the way back to 1994. Danye Abrams had 41 at Hartford. Jefferson forces one up, and he's fouled on a three-point shot attempt. I mean, he hits them all. They're down 2, and there's still 2.9 on the clock. Al Skinner just looked at him and said, what are you doing?
I mean, you don't even challenge that shot because it's one that's going to be difficult to make. But Jefferson gets to go to the foul line.
Danye Abrams, the last Boston College player. I was scrambling to read that so quickly.
I know you in your reading mode. I was like,
wait a minute.
What'd you say?
That didn't even sound right. score 41, you deserve to have your name pronounced correctly.
Yeah, no question, no doubt. All right, and I'm watching the officials, Tim Higgins and Jim Burke, telling Sidney the next time he walks by Jefferson and talks to him on the foul line, it's a technical foul. Because that's what Al Skinner was complaining about with Troy Bell before.
Well, Jefferson calmly knocks it down. To have any chance, got to have this one.
Yeah, that's why the first miss was so important. Because you could afford to miss the last one and shoot it hard and try to get it back. Al Skinner can do nothing but laugh. Because he called the timeout. But they had a break over the top, wide open for Troy Bell. He can only laugh.
Al saying, you know what, I have something here that's not as good as what you just did.
Exactly. All I want you to do is get it on the other side.
Al Skinner's alma mater, UMass, taking on Connecticut. Again, Dave Sims, Bill Rapture standing by.
We got a little Sports Center music, a little premature. We got a game coming up next.
Now there's the situation. One timeout remaining for Boston College. They have a 60 and 2:30. They're not going to stop the clock. I don't think, unless Al Skinner calls another one on a long pass.
He got it. Same thing. Same play.
Same play to Bell, and he's grabbed there by Pearson.
It's a tough situation when you've got everybody on the front side of half court. That's what they did. Bell looked like he was going to set a screen and just took off. And then Pearson comes over and fouls him.
Well, it was ruled an intentional foul, so
it's a good call. That's exactly what it was. There's no question about it. It was an intentional foul. Bell giving up big numbers, boy. At 40, looking 41. It's hard to get it much better than that. I'm sorry, Dave. I mean, you can see a little bit of pre-celebration, if you will, here by Agbai. Troy, you don't get another shot.
I usually get fouled from behind the arc.
He's used to getting 3 shots. He didn't want to come off the line. You get 2 in the ball is what you get for intentional.
1.2 on the clock.
This one you can just tip it in the air if you want.
Ryan Sidney says, I'm going to try to add a little bit more to this. Well, the first meeting between two of the highly recognized coaches, Al Skinner and Larry Eustace, ends up in a victory for Boston College. 86-81 is our final. For Quinn Buckner, I'm Dave Strader. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. 86-81 our final here. Let's go to Bill Pito.
Dave, thank you. Coming up, we'll find out if Caron Butler and the UConn Huskies can make it 11 straight wins